So I recently turned Mariah Elizabeth's Cupid into Rapunzel. So when McDonald's announced that Squishmallows would be making their way into Happy Meals, I just had to get my hands on them. This time it's not one but 3 plushies that are getting a Squishmallow makeover. We need a sketchbook. Got a marker, and I have an idea. This Squishmallow is just staring at me. We need to make it good. This is Rossi the cheetah. Lovely and pink, and I want to keep a lot of that design in. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna turn Rossi into a zombie. This idea actually came from the Discord group. So thanks guys. We're gonna corrupt all of these Squishmallows. Make them look really creepy like this. The classic zombie look. A shirt and tie. And I am loving these light blue eyes. I think that's what we need to do to really make this one look creepy. And the dark eyeshadow, of course. Very Black Parade. That's kind of what this is giving too. Although the sketch is already kind of huge. I don't know what happened there. I don't want any of this to go on the other side because this actually has mermaid on the other side. The art challenge we did earlier on in the year, so we got to be careful and just stick to water-based markers and mild liners. And already the creepy eyes are kind of working. All of the light parts are going to be turned grey, and of course we need to put in the shirt and tie. This is also going to continue onto the back, and I want to carefully have some rips. I want this cheetah pattern to show because it's so pretty. So we're going to have to leave gaps to try and make that happen and turn this cute little character into a zombie. Let's make it a little bit lighter in here. We need fabric medium and acrylic for this. I sit here alone. Sticking to a simple color palette, literally just yellow, red, and a bit of black. With white, I think the best place to start is actually the clothes. Once the base is down, we can build up from there. It's really like a sketch. Obviously, we can't just draw on this cute little Squishmallow. And also, I do want this plushie to stay cute. Like Rapunzel. Rapunzel is doing well from the last plushie makeover, where we turned Mariah Elizabeth's Cupid into Rapunzel from Tangled. So we're using fabric medium every time to hopefully prevent cracking. Yep, I'm watching Clueless. It's literally been years, and I kind of want to paint a movie scene from it. I reckon there's a lot of scenes you could use, mostly because of the outfits. The outfits are so unique and colourful. I think it would make a pretty good episode for the scene series. You know what though, that list is already crazy. There's so many that I want to do. And yes, the plushie is looking a little bit questionable at the moment. This is a trust the process one. Although the eyeshadow is kind of working, I'm getting a little bit of Gerard Way there. The hardest part is going to be the shirt and trying to somehow make it look good. Okay, every time this white dries, it is not white, so we are just going in with a lot of thick white. We need this to be opaque, and at the moment it's looking a little bit too yellow, a little bit too transparent. Obviously, for this zombie to work, it does also need to look pretty scuffed. Like, the shirt needs to look ripped and dirty. So once the base is there, it's a lot of dry brushing. Greys, blues, yellows, reds, every colour. Dry brush the entire thing to try and make it look dirty. The tail is out, which I think looks pretty cute. But of course we need these rips. And it's gotten dark. Honestly, I don't know how it's gotten so dark so quickly. It was lovely and sunny in August, and then one day it just changed. I don't know what the weather's like where you are, but where I am, we're going into autumn, and one day it just switched. Now there's rain every single day. I don't think we've had a day without rain for the last 3 weeks, but I guess the vibe kind of works because we are corrupting these squishmallows, so it being a little bit cold and dark kind of fits the theme. Just need to neaten up these eyelids, the eyeshadow, the edges, before moving on to number 2. Oh, I'm so excited. Why is this not coming off? There we go. Oh, we got a label on this one. Mirren helps other mallows find jobs. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, should we scan it and see what that does? They're gonna do a game. I'm showing my age now. This is literally just like Temple Run. I was hoping we were gonna get a bit more information on these, but I'm gonna have to look into it. This color is lovely. I really want to save a lot of it if we can. Let's go sketching. Next up, we have Mirren the Moth. Not gonna lie, this character did confuse me at first. I could not work out what they were. Kind of thought it was a bird or an owl. It's a moth, and we are turning them into a bat. More specifically, a vampire, but there's gonna be both elements. So how is this gonna work? Well, the reason that this Squishmallow was calling to me for this idea is mostly because of the wings. It's also a very simple color palette, so if we cover up the white area, it's just gonna look cute and red. Now the wings, I'm hoping can be cut into bat wings. Hopefully, if we can pull this off. The iconic vampire outfit, fangs, a little bow, and the back is very simple because really it is just a cape. And I'm now realizing that maybe the first idea was the hardest, and we might have started in the wrong order. I guess it could be treated as a warm-up. Oh, and I want to say a huge thank you to my Patreon supporters. Yeah, I think we did start on the hardest of all of the Squishmallows because this one doesn't need much color to look this cute. Like, there's literally red, black, brown, and a little white gap. That's all we need. Simple. Though we do need to cut off this. Does the hole really need to be this big? Straight through the wing. I feel like red is a good place to start because black is the darkest and black can go over everything else, so it kind of makes sense. Now there were a couple of mistakes. For starters, the red is looking kind of burgundy. It was supposed to be bright red. Unfortunately, these are the colors that I had to hand. The other ones are in a box buried under more boxes, so I kind of just made do with this color. It's alizarin crimson, so it's not bright red. But I don't mind it so much because bright red might clash with the actual color of the Squishmallow because that's kind of like a muted red. The wings and the little ear things need to be a dark brown or black to align closer with the bat, but unfortunately I put the bow a little bit too low and made it huge and covered up all of the white part. That means we're not actually going to have a gap where the cape separates and the white is seen from underneath, since it kind of disappeared. Also, when adding the red, I completely forgot that it needs to continue on the back. So yeah, we're off to a great start. Nothing is going to plan, but I guess we're going to go with the flow. The piece looks a little bit more creepy, a little bit darker, a little bit edgier, without any of the white on show. So it does kind of work. Maybe we'll pull it together in the next layer. We need fangs, which is really struggling to be painted on top of this. It's kind of like embroidered, this part, and the paint just does not want to sit on it. But hopefully by going in with white, we can just add a little bit of red on top and try and make it look like blood. But I don't know why I'm adding to this bow, because this all gets covered up. I don't know why I decided to do this. I guess to add a highlight and then scrap the entire thing because we're now going in with more of a purple shade. Both the bright red and the dark red kind of clash, so now it's purple and we need to try and make these bat wings work. I don't know why, but this was so difficult to cut. Oh, that ain't bad. Absolutely worth it for that end result. It works, like it actually worked. We're gonna have to repaint the edges because it got cut and try and add a little bit more detail, a little bit more layers to this. It's a simple design, but I think we did it. I think we turned Mirren into a cute little vampire, and I love the bat wings. But we're not done. And now let's see what the final one is. There's so many pink ones. Cookie is an aspiring botanist fascinated by flowers. When I tell you, I'm really gonna have to get thinking. I have no clue what we're gonna do with this. I don't know. And this little cutie is Cookie the Flamingo. I'm not gonna lie, I did not get flamingo vibes from this. Probably because they're not balancing on one leg, the iconic flamingo pose. This just kind of looked like a blob with arms. I honestly thought it was a parrot. But anyway, they are getting a Day of the Dead inspired theme. This whole gorgeous look, the full makeup, that's what we're gonna try and turn this character into. And this is gonna be difficult. Again, I want to try and keep a lot of those original elements in. It wasn't planned, but we did end up somehow with 3 lovely pink colored plushies. Like, I think there's lots of different color Squishmallows. I don't know how I only ended up with pink, but they all match and it's really cute. We have the face. Adding a couple of skeleton components to the rest. I think this will work better than painting the entire piece, because then it is like you are corrupting the character. It's like the character is getting a makeover rather than completely changing up every single part. And this is the idea I am most excited for. Why is it so dark? Trying to make as much light as possible, and that's all I can do. Cut off the tags, get this plushie ready, because we are going in with white. And it might need a few layers. This needs to be pretty opaque. Yes, even more layers. Every single one is mixed with the fabric medium, which will hopefully prevent cracking and mean that they will last well, sitting on the shelf in the studio, hopefully. But it is a skeleton. We don't want it to just look white, so I've also got a little bit of yellow mixed in to try and make it look a little bit more like bone, even though of course the face is to look like makeup. Carefully trying to avoid the beak, which also made me think it looks like a parrot, right? And even more layers. This is the most important part. We need a really good base to be able to build upon this, because the design is mostly patterns. There are flowers, there's eyeshadow, there's spirals. We need a really good base because we're not going to be able to come back to this. And I think we're ready to get going. When I tell you, I had no clue what colors we were going to use. I wanted to use what was already on the palette. So this is what we've got. They are quite muted, because you can tell I was trying to use up what was already on the palette all mixed together. But I really don't want any of this to smudge. The hardest part about working on these Squishmallows is the fact that they are 3D and very small. I have no clue how people can work on miniatures and really tiny jewelry or key rings. I don't know how people have the patience to work that small, because I made a lot of mistakes throughout the process of all 3 of these. Dunked my hand in it several times. Had to keep the hairdryer very nearby, just in case. So I'm gonna be honest, this was very difficult. You won't believe how long it took. Like, we're on to another video. I've watched so much already.
I was always keeping a page very clean.
A finer brush, because just like that, the Day of the Dead inspired character is almost complete. I don't know if this is much of a corrupted character because it just looks so cute, but I think this one here might just be my favorite. The black line work is really completing this whole look. And we're almost there, but there is one very big step left.
Different movements and fabric and everything.
We need to seal these plushies and we need a paintbrush, plus a weird little contraption to hang them on. Yes, this is the best I could come up with. We've got weights holding a paintbrush, holding a ruler, holding 3 clips, balanced again by a weight. It kind of works, right? When it comes to these 3D projects, I always forget about that final step. How do you varnish the plushie and leave it to dry? How does that happen? Like, they need to hang somehow. And I guess this will do. Yes, it's looking a little bit questionable. I know, but the varnish is gonna dry clear. It might be a little bit shiny too. We really want to try and protect these as much as possible. And I haven't actually got a fabric sealant. I don't have very much when it comes to fabric, so we are really making do with this project. Just using what I have in already. Leaving these to dry. And just like that, we corrupted 3 Squishmallows. Rossi the cheetah got turned into a cute little zombie. Kinda scary. Whilst Mirren the moth got corrupted into a vampire. I love those bat wings. And finally, Cookie the flamingo got a Day of the Dead inspired theme. I love this makeover. Let me know down below which one is your favorite. Give this a like if you've enjoyed it. I'll see you on Sunday with the Create This book. Bye bye.